Hey, what's going on, guys? We are back. Today we will be doing a Hound Dog draft um, contest that I guess just released either today or yesterday. I wasn't really paying attention. Um, but what I like about this contest is, if we go down to all rules here, it's actually just a smaller contest in general. So you get your classic 12-person groups for weeks 1 to 14. However, in round 2 and round 3, you can see you have a 5-person group and a 6-person group. So I really think that, and then obviously a 104-person final here. I really think that opens up you to overstack teams. Obviously, like stacking is going to be prevalent in this, as it usually is in most tournaments. And but in this specifically, I think I'm going to be more comfortable taking more players on a single team because losing like that, 0.1% upside is not really going to be affected as much. Maybe I overstack a team because I only have to beat out 5 players instead of the classic 12 or 16 or whatever it is in other tournaments. So yeah, as you can see, we're already in a draft. We have pick 11, and I need to take a sip of water real quick. Okay, now let's get back to it. Probably just go in receiver here. I have the established the run rankings in here. I'm probably going to draft more off ADP though and just have this as a reference point. But pick 11, probably going Garrett Wilson here. Probably going receiver. I like JT more than a lot of people and more than obviously these rankings have him at 22. But I think I'm just going to go wide receiver here. Oh, look at that. We can go Puka. And then I guess we'll see what Mr. Nate Smith here does coming back. This is my first Puka share, actually. I mean, I haven't drafted a ton yet. I know I've been kind of lacking. But okay, so he goes Drake London JT. This is tough. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is fine here, but I'm gonna pick Marvin. I love Marvin Harrison. I'm willing to ride with him. But yeah. Let me continue my thoughts. So yes, obviously smaller tournament. I think it's also limited to 5 entries. I probably should have figured this out before I started streaming. Yeah, 5 entry max for $6. And then 18,700 total entries. So not really a huge tournament, bigger than these other, higher stakes tournaments, but not a ton of contestants, which explains the smaller groupings. But let me see what this payout structure is. I mean, that's okay, I guess. Anyway, so going back to that whole overstacking stuff, for those of you that play DraftKings, if you play in like a small field tournament of like, I don't know, less than like 200 people, you can really get into overstacking and it can win. Like you can have like last year, I think like a Jared Goff like triple, for instance, won a bunch of high stakes small field stuff. So I really think you can overload on teams if you want to. Obviously, kind of like there's pros and cons to it, but I think it's definitely more available to you in this kind of tournament style with a 104-person final than say the Best Ball Mania 500+ person final. But yeah, 14 picks away. I guess we can kind of start eyeballing. Could go elite quarterback. Could just keep going receivers. Maybe we take Cup and start, fat Ram stack. I don't know. We'll see how it goes when it gets back to us. I forget how many drafts I did. I actually did my first Best Ball Mania draft yesterday. Yeah, yesterday afternoon. It went okay. Some things I like, some things I didn't like. Obviously, and that's usually how it goes for most things. But definitely interested in being more involved in it in the coming days and in the future. I drafted hundreds of teams last year, so I really need to get back into it. But Sam Laporta going at the 2-9. That's aggressive, I guess. I mean, to be fair, I don't really like a lot of these players in the second round. Like, obviously, somebody has to get drafted in this round, but I'm not I'm not fist pumping it in for like Debo or Devontae or Ayuk or Devontae Smith or Laporta or Kyron or like I don't know. All these guys are like they could be good, but I think they're definitely like shaky. There's gonna be a lot of landmines. Waddle I do like a lot. This guy goes Tyreek Waddle. I like that. Waddle I do really like, but you can probably get him. You can get him like 2-3 turn. But yeah, all these. I don't know, man. And even right now, it's like Devon Achane's fun because he's explosive as shit. But Stephon Diggs is 30. DJ Moore had like an up and down year. Obviously, people see him more as an up year, but like down the stretch there, he was pretty bad. Obviously, it gets it a quarterback upgrade, but also increased target competition. Whatever you want to, whatever. Obviously, having a better quarterback is going to be great for everybody. But Malik Neighbors, rookie going to like not a great situation, but I love Malik Neighbors. But I mean, still third round for a rookie in like a not great situation. Michael Pittman's never been like an elite fantasy player, although there he goes. Derrick Henry's a 30-year-old running back. He becomes another 30-year-old receiver. Like all these guys in this 2-3 third area, it's just like this is probably gonna make or break a lot of these teams. Unfortunately, obviously, like you get made when you pick like a 17th round Kyron or something last year, but it just feels like there's a ton of landmines in the second and third round. So avoiding that is probably gonna be critical to a lot of these teams' success. But we'll see. Look at all this orange. Look at that. Orange. Oh, yeah. Fantasy's really changed in the last... I mean, it's like it changed like 3 years ago a lot. Like, I mean, people were always doing hero and zero RB builds, but like I think it's become much more mainstream as of 3 years ago. And every year we just kind of get pushed further to it. And you know what? It makes sense, though. I mean, it keeps working, so people are going to do it until it doesn't. So what are we looking at? We're probably looking at oh jeez, I don't even know. I'm probably gonna pick Kelsey here. Maybe Kelsey and yeah. Probably start with Kelsey here. It makes sense to me. He's not really going to be in a position to get an elite tight end later, or at least the ones I like later. You know what's funny? I feel like this Puka Marvin Harrison right here is going to be like the new, what was it, CD Amonra last year, week 17? Everybody's going to stack it up because it's easy. That's kind of funny. I wasn't even really thinking about that. Usually I don't really focus on stacking up my like early round players because like these players are dogs. You know what I mean? They don't need to be like carried by their quarterback. Like for instance, Justin Jefferson can get 150 yards and 2 touchdowns without Kirk Cousins going off, if that makes sense. Let me go Zay Flowers here. But like KJ Osborne probably isn't getting 150 and 2 touchdowns unless Kirk Cousins is running for like 400 yards. You know, does that make sense? So like I kind of prioritize stacking up my later receivers and stuff like that, like people that need to be pushed along in like a game script versus guys like a Puka, I guess, in this situation, or hopefully like a Marvin Harrison or a Travis Kelce, like guys that can just go off because they're really talented. They don't need like to be quarterback or game script dependent as much as some of like your wide receiver 2s, 3s, etc. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so we got the Puka Marvin Harrison mini, I guess, for now. And then Zay Flowers and Travis Kelce. Pretty solid start. Getting Travis Kelce in like the 3rd/4th round still. ADP of 37.8. So he is moving up a little bit. Obviously very old now. 34 going to be. But can step up when he's needed still. And it does open the door if Mahomes falls, a ton. To Kansas City stack. But also, even if we don't get Mahomes, I think we can still stack up another KC receiver. I think that's definitely something that gets underutilized and can be an edge to some people. Just picking like players in great situations or players you like, and then but without their quarterback. Like getting Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, getting A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, getting Travis Kelce, any Chiefs receiver, etc. Stuff like that. But without the quarterback, I think is definitely available and is definitely a good strategy. Let's see. So we have our tight end. Obviously, we're going 0 RB here. Don't really love any of these running backs. I'm kind of eyeballing what's going to be there in about 12 picks. Maybe Mixon. Maybe Mixon for this team if we were going running back. But I'd probably be more interested in Hollywood or Xavier Worthy there with Travis Kelce. I also just, like that structure more, going 4 receivers. But one thing I do want to note, and I think I see this mistake a lot, this is more anecdotally than data-driven, but when teams go 0 RB, which this team is currently, I think people pick too many receivers. I really do. I think if you're picking 6 receivers in your first 7 picks or 6 in your first 8 picks or whatever, you should stop at 6 or maybe 7. You should not have 8 or 9. I think a lot of these best ball teams, including a lot of mine, I like having 8 or 9 receivers. It just makes sense structurally to me. But if I'm investing all this draft capital into these receivers, it doesn't really make sense to get a ton of receivers later, if that makes sense. That makes sense to me. But you also run into this, well, now I got to stack these guys, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to add these receivers. So I get why it happens, but to me, we should really be careful about how many receivers we're taking if we're going 0 RB. Because I think you're hurting your team's upside if you go 6 straight receivers and then you just keep tacking them on, rounds 12 to 18, you just tack on 3 more. I don't really think that helps your team, because, gonna be honest, if you go 6 receivers and 4 of those guys fail, you're gonna lose anyway. So why limit your upside? You limit your floor and your ceiling when you do that, I think, because you should be taking these other positions to make up for what's supposedly a stacked wide receiver core. So you're trying to raise your floor. However, all you're doing is lowering your floor and lowering your ceiling at the same time because you have less positions that can score. But I'm sorry if you can hear my dog barking. She is angry about something. Hey, we're holding out hope here. Obviously not a big deal either way. I'm just going to queue up these boys right now. And looking ahead here, I think we could probably... There goes Hollywood. If they both go... Oh, look at Mark Andrews still hanging around too. If they both go, I'm probably taking Mixon, it looks like. But I guess we'll see. 3 more picks to go. Hopefully they'll both go. This guy is a quarterback, so I don't expect him to take Mahomes here. I mean, he should take Andrews, right? He picked Lamar. He gets Andrews to fall all the way back to him. It's pretty exciting stuff there. Johnny could definitely go quarterback. This guy also has Josh Allen. I hope this guy's not just auto drafting. That'd be a shame if he goes Lamar and Mahomes. And what is happening? Am I frozen? I was frozen. Jeez. Oh, and there goes Mahomes to Johnny. Okay. We'll go Xavier Worthy. And we will queue up. I don't really like any of these running backs, to be honest, but I'm just going to go another receiver. Let's see who's next. So after this pick, I'll be back in about 20 seconds. I don't really like Jaden Reed that much. Calvin Ridley's okay. Maybe Odinze. Some rookie upside. There's a lot of rookies on this team. I think that's fine, though. Yeah, I don't really want Rashad White here. do you like Chris Godwin? Nah, we'll go Rome. Why not? Rome's a good pick. All right, I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Just to recap real quick, we got a 0 RB team going with Puka, Marvin Harrison, Zay Flowers, Xavier Worthy, and Rome Odunze. And then we have Travis Kelce as our tight end. So right now we have 2 Chiefs and a little mini going with Puka and Marvin in terms of stacking week 17. I think it's a pretty strong room right now. We'll see who comes back to us next time. I do like the receivers again coming here in the next couple of picks. We could also maybe look at Kyler for a quarterback. Actually, I'm almost assuredly picking Kyler if he makes it back. And then we'll go from there. But I do like a lot of the quarterback values late this year, though. Like, if this is a season-long draft, right? Like you're playing with your boys or whatever. I love going elite quarterback. I think there's only so many ways you can separate in a home league or whatever. But in this, like getting these quarterbacks like super late, I think is good value. Like even Justin Herbert 131, like that's pretty easy to me at least. Sean Watson 163, Will Levis 181, McCarthy 191. Even Derek Carr. Derek Carr was like had 2 top 5 weeks in the fantasy playoffs last year. There goes Kyler. Drake May. I mean, this is crazy. I think any of these guys will be fine. Especially when you don't have to like actually start them. You know what I mean? Like it's best ball. So. Definitely liking not a lot actually. Maybe Waymo here. I'll probably go Waymo. Probably go receiver and then a running back on the way back here. Or 2 running back. We'll see who's there. Getting Aaron Jones on this team would actually be crazy, I think. I know like his ranking's a little lower on ETR, but he would fit this team build really well, I think. Oh my God. Let's see what we get. We got. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, I might double tap. I'm gonna double tap running back here. I don't really like Watson or Deontay's upside a ton. I think getting Brooks and then one of these 2 is great. Actually, this is actually a really fun build. So we picked 5 wide receivers in the first 8 rounds. So I think this could be a 7 wide receiver team. I know I was talking earlier, like you could stop at 6 or maybe 7. I think I'm gonna do 7. It'll obviously depend. Could be 8. We'll see. I'm gonna pick Jonathan Brooks first, just for the upside. And that's about that. Maybe look at doing. No, I'm definitely doing Jalen Warren or probably Jalen Warren or Najee. I don't really have a preference actually. Oh, okay. So he goes Warren. So he picks for me. Fair enough. Mainly because I needed a running back there. I kind of like Najee at his price, to be honest. I like Najee and Warren at their prices. And, you know, it also does happen to stack with this KC. So now we have this full KC mini going. Definitely not picking the quarterback in that game, but it's fine. I think that's still fine to have. In terms of how we're going to stack this out in the future, we will see. We will see. Not really eyeballing any quarterbacks yet, to be honest. I think, yeah, maybe I kind of like the idea of doing something like this. Maybe getting those two bad boys right there. How is this ADP gonna line up? It's not. Well, we'll see what happens. Then you can also add like Vidal or something like that. And there you go. In terms of other quarterbacks, I think Stafford's available to us. We can tack on, I guess, Robinson as well if we wanted to double stack him. We could also stack on Corum. Or we could do a full back stack here. I mean, we have all this. I mean, we could easily back stack Patriots. Grab 2 Patriots receivers or maybe one Patriots wide receiver and Drake May. We will see. It doesn't really matter too much. I'm not really too worried about it. Just trying to look ahead a little bit, but we're still a ways away from doing all that. This feels like a slow draft. I'm going to be curious how long the recording is on this one. I just feel like we're kind of moving. Maybe it's just because I'm picking at the end here. And I do 2 picks and then just kind of sit here for a while. But it definitely feels a little slow. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. Let's see. Ooh, I do kind of like the idea of just getting Stafford, like getting Corum Stafford. I think Corum's been moving up a little bit too after, not that much. After his, not his injury, but Kyron's injury, even though he's like practicing on the side, I guess already. Never good though when you have a running back that has perpetually hurt his foot/ankle, and he has a foot/ankle injury in May. But hopefully plenty of time to recover still. But, we've been down these roads before on how that turns out. But hey, I'm not knocking him yet. Obviously Kyron slid. I don't remember where he got picked in this draft. Oh, okay. So the 211. But yeah, he was going like early second, late first, like a month ago. So obviously sliding because of his injury news. Fair enough. And then this is also not a Best Ball Mania draft, as I mentioned. It's a Hound draft. So this is going to be open and closed pretty quick, it looks like. So this will be like a snapshot kind of draft. So that, like, for instance, Kyron being at the 2-3 turn, he's going to be there this entire tournament. It's not going to be like Best Ball Mania where some people have him at like pick 15, some people have him at like pick 30. He's probably always going to be in that 2-3 turn area in this draft. So just something to think about if you're doing these. Like, you can pick him. It's fine. It's a snapshot draft. Let's see what we got here. We got Jaden Daniels, Tony Pollard, DeAndre Swift, Trey Benson. Ooh, I like the idea of getting Trey Benson. And then coming back with... Okay, we don't get Trey Benson. Thanked. Oh, man. I mean, Tony Pollard is a fucking fat ADP value here. That's definitely the pick here. Do I reach on Josh Palmer here? I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to do a fat reach on our boy right here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now we're probably on quarterback watch. Definitely leaning towards Herbert, obviously. But this also opens the door for a Drake May backstack. Go bang bang. And then Drake May and Polk or somebody. Or, we still have Matt Stafford, maybe Blake Corum, maybe Robinson. We'll have to see. Probably going 2 quarterbacks here. Maybe 3 if we only get Herbert or Stafford. Definitely don't want to get totally boxed out, though, so not in a great situation. But it's fine. We'll be fine. The Chargers have like 6 tight ends, I'm pretty sure now. Yeah. Yeah, so this isn't good right here. Look at this. Look at this. Hayden Hurst. Yeah. Darren Parham. Will Disley. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, I'm kind of good off all of that. So we'll probably, if we get Herbert, I'll probably look to add Vidal. Stack that up. Just take a shot at a late running back for this build. Honestly, I kind of like our running back room. Like, unironically. Jonathan Brooks, Najee Harris, Tony Pollard. That seems fine to me. It actually seems pretty strong. And obviously, we have pretty strong receivers, at least to me. Obviously, a few rookies, but that's fine. They'll be exploding at the end of the year, and we're going to win all the money. Travis Kelce locking it down. Probably look to add a second tight end later. Maybe one with upside, like Jawan Johnson or something. Or even like a Noah Fant. Noah Fant would be a great one to add. But just like a late capital tight end, Definitely looking more and more like a 3 quarterback build now that I'm looking at it. Look at all these QBs sitting here. I mean, I don't want any of them, but I could see them start flying right here. So we have and Wicks, Judy. Yeah, next pick I'm definitely looking to go running back or quarterback. 3-6-1 right now. We could realistically go 8 receivers if we want to. I might stick with 7 and just say, like, Puka, Marvin Harrison, Zay Flowers, Worthy, Ramadunze, Josh Palmer all have a lot of upside. Josh Palmer being probably the least talented receiver in that group, but also in a position to get a lot of targets and whatnot. And obviously going 60 picks later than Ladd McConkey. And obviously QJ is still on the team. Second year first round pick obviously was signaling a clear bust. So fair enough for people being out on him. I am also not a big fan. But he was also used like they just made a mistake in how they used him. So maybe if you get some like competent coaching in there, you could see some improvement. Like he's not an X receiver, and they just slapped him at X and had him run like routes he's not good at. Like that, it's like they didn't watch tape on him and they just threw him in there. Like, oh yeah, we need a receiver. We're taking this one. Like that was silly. So maybe this coaching staff can come in. Maybe Greg Roman can come in and utilize him well. Yeah, who am I kidding? Anyway, maybe. And also, I just think these guys are all underpriced. Like they're pricing in the Chargers like they're going to be bottom 5 and pass rate over expectation when they probably won't be. I mean, their defense isn't that great. They don't have a running back, and they have a really good quarterback. I feel like running the ball 30 times a game with Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, and Kamani Vidal is how you get fired. Instead of letting Justin Herbert throw it to Ladd McConkey and Josh Palmer and QJ and one of their 17 tight ends. So we're going to pick Herbert here. Really contemplating double tapping and just having a 2 quarterback build. Obviously, that's a 15 pick reach. We're not going to do that. I'm not reaching for Stafford. Well, I probably still want him queued up, but I'm not reaching for him. I'm going to go Jerome Ford here. Either Jerome Ford or Charbonnet. Both good picks to me. You know what? No, I have a decent amount of both of them, actually. I'll go Jerome Ford. Mainly because I see a bigger path to him early and later. Like, obviously, Zach Charbonnet, new coaching staff, could just come in. He could maybe win the job from Kenny Walker, or at least maybe push that to a pure 50-50, maybe 60-40 his way, you know? But Jerome, Nick Chubb is 28. Another multi-ligament knee injury. That is going to be tough. There is no way that he's going to be back for a long time in the season. And even when he comes back, who knows? Who knows if he's ever the same? You know what I mean? Like, that's a massive, massive, massive injury. And he's older in his career now. It's not like when he was in college when he tore his ACL. You know, he's 21, 20, or whatever he was at the time. Come back easily. Single ligament tear. Perfectly good. Now, this is a multi-ligament tear on an older back. I think he's probably cooked, but we'll see. And I'll be back again in 1 second. Sorry about that. My dog was going ballistic, and I wanted to make sure nothing was wrong or anything. She's fine. She's just old. Can't really see. Kind of barking at the wall. So I see Stafford goes. That's fine. Don't know why this guy took him. Kind of wish I didn't click on that team. Anyway, going back, definitely gonna backstack either Watson. Ooh, actually, let's do that. Let's go Watson. Let's try to backstack Watson with well, we already have Jerome Ford, so that'd be cool. Maybe we go Watson and they can be like Elijah Moore, right? Yeah. Later. That's fine. Watson, Elijah Moore, Jerome Ford. Yeah, you know, it sounds gross, doesn't it? But you know what? It's a long season, brother. It's a long season. Plus, I think with Watson and Herbert, I think that's enough for two quarterbacks. So we can really go. It's just kind of crazy. We probably go a 2-7-7-2 build. That's kind of wild. Or maybe 2-6-8-2 build. That seems more appetizing to me. Although I did spend a lot of capital on receiver. We will find out. I want Vidal in here. I think I'm going to go Vidal Watson if I get my pick here of what I want. That's what I would want. Vidal Watson here. But obviously Watson doesn't care what you want though. Anyway. There goes Polk as well. So the dream. I mean, we could just say with the other guy, but no, it's fine. We'll go 2 here. If Herbert and Watson aren't enough quarterback firepower, this team is dead anyway. So, continues to progress as a person or what? I'm sorry about that one. So there's RB number 5. Jonathan Brooks, Najee Harris, Tony Pollard, Jerome Ford, Kamani Vidal. That's a strong room to me, honestly. I'm thinking 6 running backs. I'm thinking we just top off 2 receivers, right? Because we can go Puka, Marvin, Zay. We give us some more upside, I think. Obviously, we're tacking on Elijah at the end, so we can look to draft 1 tight end and 1 receiver here, and 1 more running back before the last round. I love Khalil Herbert. Little little Roma Doomsday, a little Khalil Herbert, and then maybe I also like I think I mentioned him earlier. I liked, is he even on the board still? Noah Fant. Maybe go Khalil Herbert, Noah Fant. Maybe a little mini action in that game. This is what I like. I like correlating games when you're not going out of your way to do it, right? We're not going out of our way. We like Khalil Herbert as a player. I like Noah Fant as a player. I think that tight end room in Seattle finally opened up. New coaching staff. Maybe they won't do dumbass shit with their tight ends. I really think we're in a position here to naturally stack up our team with players that we like. So we're getting our player takes mixed in there. We're getting our stacking in there. Stacking is the one thing I will go a little bit out of my way for. And then we're getting our week 17 correlation naturally. You know, we're naturally getting this correlation. We naturally got this Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy, Najee Harris. We naturally got this. Well, hopefully we'll naturally get this Khalil Herbert, Roma Dunze, Noah Fant. You know, we'll naturally get our Herbert and, well, I guess we kind of reached for Josh Palmer. But our Herbert, Josh Palmer, and then whoever is left for New England, and it's going to be the other rookie they picked, Baker. Ooh, so maybe we do go Baker. No, ooh. So the question is if we want Noah Fant or not, I guess. No, I want Noah Fant. So we need Elijah Moore. Oh, we could go Gibson here too. Dude, so many good options. Now, Gibson's not going to make it back to us. But, you know, we'll start him up just so he gets picked right now. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't really want any of these players. Oh, there goes Baker. Shit. Well, that's not good. Whatever. What are you going to do? I'm not going to force it if it's... there's no bring back. There's no bring back. I'm not going to force New England to do that. Because we do have Vidal, so, you know, maybe Herbert goes Josh Palmer and then Vidal runs it in when they're winning. You know, it's hard to know. In terms of our Brown stack, I would like to add a Miami player, but there's going to be none left except for Malik Washington. We'll see. We'll see who's there in 4 picks. If Gibson's there, I'll probably pick Gibson and be done at running back. He will be bring back on our Herbert stack. If I don't get Gibson, that doesn't really matter. I'll just pick Khalil Herbert and no Fant. Now we're 1 pick away. Don't. You know what? Now we're close. You know. Oh, no way. This guy die? This guy die this morning? I don't know. Ominous. Okay. Well, there's our ring back. Sorry, Khalil. I like you, but. And then. Yeah, I think we go Noah Fant here, and then we pick these 2 receivers. Cool. That worked out well. Wow. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of how I do it, though. Usually, I kind of just draft players I think are good, players I like, you know, and I focus on not only just the players I like, but also the build I'm making. So, you know, we went really heavy receiver early and got a really good one. And this is what I was talking about the draft allocation. So, yes, we are going to end up with 8 receivers. And I mentioned you could probably stop at 7 earlier if you're going 0 wide receiver. But the 2 we're adding at the end at 7 and 8, if you think of it as like an auction dollar or even like the draft, like these are most likely droppable players in terms of like a season-long thing, you know? So, yeah, it's not like we're spending a ton of capital. It's going to end up being 8, but we're not spending the capital of like 8 receivers in the first 11 rounds. There's 8 receivers in the whole draft. It just happens that 6 of them are in the first 10 picks and 5 of them were in the first 7 picks, which is fine, which is great, actually. That's how we want to win. And then 6 running backs might be too much. We could have probably stopped at 5. But we got a big ADP value here on Antonio Gibson. He also correlates week 17, so I'm not going to knock it. I don't really love seeing 6 running backs there, but it's fine. Give us plenty of upside later. And again, it's not like we spent a ton of capital, so we do have 5 to 6. We do have 6 running backs, but Jonathan, these 3 right here were picked like 9 to 12, and then we don't really need Gibson on this team. Probably, I think we would have been fine picking. But Polk got drafted. It's fine. This is fine. I think you could definitely make an argument for 5 there, but I think 6 is good. So yeah, we'll double tap these receivers. I don't really care about ADP in the last 2 rounds at all. I think you could scroll down to the bottom of this page and just draft whoever you wanted, just for fun. Like if you like Laviska Shenault for whatever reason, or Tim Patrick, who finally doesn't have a torn ACL. Look at Sky Moore. I just saw Sky Moore. Where'd he go? But maybe Clyde. Like, you can draft any of these people. Oh, so Clyde does get drafted a good amount. I wasn't sure anymore. Obviously not any of them, but it's the last round. It's June 1st. These things are all going to change. Just pick who you want in the last 2 rounds, honestly. And one thing to not get hung up on, and this is really important, I want you guys to understand. Stacking matters. Week 17 matters, but you shouldn't go out of your way. Pick a player you believe in the last 2 rounds. Pick a player that is getting buzzed. Pick a player that is the RB2 on a team. Stuff like that. Because you know what's not going to win you the championship? You know what's not going to win you the championship? Picking Braxton Berrios in the last round because he fits your stack. You don't need that. I don't need that. We don't need that. So don't do that. Just, you know what? You'd be like, oh, but Luke, you're about to pick the new Braxton Berrios. No. See, this is a young rookie on an explosive team. He's fast. Am I coping? Maybe. But it's a little different. But anyway, don't worry about stacking up, getting that last guy, getting that wide receiver 4 so you can make the stack work. That doesn't, no. Try to pick a player that's going to just actually score you points. So, and this is different, by the way. I'm going to reiterate that this is different. This is a really fast rookie wide receiver on a good offense. Okay, so boop. Anyway, so wrapping up the team because I need to get out of here. We have Justin Herbert and Deshaun Watson. Quarterback. So solid room, I think. I think both undervalued. Then at running back, we have Jonathan Brooks, Najee Harris, Tony Pollard, Jerome Ford, Kamani Vidal, Antonio Gibson. 6 running backs. Okay. Wide receiver, 8 of them. Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison, Zay Flowers, Xavier Worthy, Rome Odunze, Joshua Palmer, Elijah Moore, and Malik Washington. That's 4 rookies. And 3 second-year players. Wow. 2 second-year players. That's a young rookie room, but we like young receivers. And tight end, we got Travis Kelce and Noah Fant. Obviously, Travis Kelce, the dog. I like Noah Fant. Here we go. I guess I'll run through the stacks real quick. We got the Herbert, Kamani Vidal, Josh Palmer stack with a, just stack throughout the year. And then with a Week 17 Antonio Gibson bring back. I can't see how that one fails. And then we have a Deshaun Watson, Jerome Ford, Elijah Moore stack. Can't see how that one fails either. And then a Malik Washington Week 17 bring back. But more importantly, we do have a bunch of little mini correlations in here. I'm not going to run through all of them, but we do have the double Kansas City to Najee Harris. Double Kansas City stack, nothing wrong with having 2 Kansas City pass catchers throughout the entire year, even if you don't have Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? When they throw the ball 38 times a game and you have Travis Kelce and Xavier Worthy, guess what? Even if you don't have Mahomes, you still get those receiving points. And then we have a Puka Marvin mini in Week 17, but also Puka and Marvin Harrison are young, really good receivers. So we will see how this team performs. And as you can see here, I got only a few drafts in, so we will continue to rapidly expand our portfolio moving forward. Anyway, see you next time.